Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, esteemed non-binaries, trash can all. Gather round the trash fire. I promise you a read-through of some of the lore in the ward, and I mean to deliver. So, without further ado, we're gonna get right into this trash tier gaming business. Let's see, security protocol updates. Due to recent events, we will be amending security protocol to require additional photo ID check upon arriving on entry to Board 13. Ooh, there's a, there. Uh oh. Okay, audio. Have have you decided to play nicely? Okay. I was off, buddy. Ahem. Entry will still require use of personal security cards. However, an additional ID check will be performed upon entry to the ward. All security officers have been notified of the change. The new protocol will take effect immediately, Commander Nathan Haskell. Oh, that's all I got there. Dead end. Oh, let's see what we got here. Fuck. Casa. Eureka is taking us months, but we have finally reconnected a dreamer to Gabriel's world. Subject 24191 is online. The new bonded entity is vastly different from the previous one. Visual recordings are dim, but audio is greatly enhanced, so much so that our equipment cannot accurately record all of it. This new guardian is belligerent towards the inhabitants. Malicious, even. I suspect it shares memories with the previous guardian, consciously or not. It knows what the fuzzies did and treats them accordingly. Fascinating. Fiscal expedition. Sounds like the high ups are planning an honest to God physical expedition to one of the worlds. Commander Neville has requested all operations managers to submit recommendations. Given the things we've seen since bringing Casa online, the Guardian, the root creatures, the massacres, I think it's obvious what our stance has to be, which is a big old nope. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Alright, gamers. Oh, yeah. June 20th, 1969. Uh-oh. Get on control. Work with me. The PS controller cycled off. Okay. Give that a... Um... Uh, so I decided not to... Okay, fine. Fortunately, we have a keyboard right here. Okay. June 20th, 68. Okay, so as Cass's equipment keeps going bonkers, it keeps presenting itself to a specific set of parameters, not just the dream harness, but the recording equipment, diagnostics, even life support. The effects seems to be coming from Casa herself, but none of us understand how that's possible. Per procedure, we've tried to sedate and reboot Casa, but that has proven impossible. The system ignores our commands for sedation. Reg tried physically administering the drugs, of course, but the system automatically applied a reversal agent. I'm concerned if we try to overpower the system, we'll end up killing the dreamer. On the other hand, that may be our only option if this feedback loop doesn't resolve itself. We'll continue our observations for now. But after what happened with Gabriel and Clementine, I'm worried. They're everywhere. The root creatures from Casa's world. We were unprepared. How could we be? They attacked so quickly. Reg is dead. So many dead. We've lost contact with wards 16 and 17, maybe others. Those of us still alive have locked ourselves in Casa's room for now. But it won't be long before we're discovered. What the hell is happening? So June 20th, 1968. That's our inciting incident. They're after the Dreamers. They killed all but Casa already. It's just a matter of time, except they aren't pounding on our door. They must know we're in here. If they're after Dreamers, why would they leave us alone unless... Oh god, Casa, she's the gate. That's what I have to do then. We don't have any other choice. If we leave this room, they'll slaughter us. And if I'm wrong, one more dead Dreamer doesn't matter much. Oof, if we're all dead. Abandoned. It's done. The system fought us at every turn. And then the root creatures began pounding at the door as though they knew what we were trying to do. But it's over. She's dead. And the roots are still out there. We're preparing to make one final run for it. I don't know how far we'll get, but we'll die if we stay here. Hagar's dream, or Harsgard Dreamer, was in a feedback loop too. We tried to tell them. If I was right about her being the gate, then file corrupted. Ah. Draft. Dear Stredge, I know you're dying to learn what the government's been doing since I moved to Ward 13. There's not much to tell. I don't know where to start. The red crystals weren't anything we fought, Reg. They're not the power sources. They're not power sources. They're conduits through space itself. I know I wouldn't have believed it either. Wait until you see what they're doing. They've connected test subjects, dreamers, they call them. There's some kind of guardian entities in other worlds. I don't mean other planets, I mean parallel worlds, side by side with Earth, but completely inaccessible from the crystals. Ford and Harsgard, you remember Captain Ford, dear? He was the recruitment official who visited us at the university. I have a few dreamers on an atoll offshore, and the preliminary reports sound like fairy tales, fauns, goblins, even magic. Of course, it can't be actual magic. It can't actually be magic. But it certainly feels like it's based on our current understanding of physics. It's hard to explain without being able to show you, Reg. But they won't let that happen until your transfer goes through. I don't even know if they'll allow this letter out, to be honest. It's fine. I'll show everything in person when you arrive. Our ward already has 2 dreamers connected. I'm supervising the activation of a few on a third in a few days. Gabriel, they call him, though I get the feeling that it's not his real name. I can't wait to see what he sees, to start investigating one of these worlds for myself. We're on the verge of something amazing, Reg. There's so much more to the universe than anyone thought, even Einstein. What wonders might be out there, just lying in wait for our discovery. See you soon, Belinda. Report subject 24191. Preliminary observations, Belinda Marsh. Operations Research Analysis Manager, Ward 14, Abstract. Commander Neville asks for recommendations on which world should be chosen for our first expedition. Subject 4191 is the second dreamer bonded to so-called Fuzzy's world. The world is a strange desolate since the loss of the previous dreamer. With a new guardian entity, a new invading species, and a widespread alterations to the world and inhabitants, it's fair to say it is no longer the Fuzzies' world, and it is highly dangerous. It's my recommendation that we do not send a physical expedition to this world at this time. Keywords 2419 Gabriel, Casa, Dreamer, Fuzzies, Root Creatures. Asir 2014, known as Gabriel, died in the Dreamer's chair when his guardian entity was killed by the inhabitants of the world, informally known as the Fuzzies. Fuzzies were intelligent and warlike, yet they were caring to each other. We still do not know why they turned on their guardian. In February of this year, finally successful in connecting a second dreamer, subject 24191, herefore referred to as Casa, bonded with what appears to be a new guardian of the same world. We have been feverishly gathering data ever since preliminary findings. Casa's world is almost completely unrecognizable from before. Gabriel observed what appeared to be massive living organisms populated by small, fur-covered creatures called Fuzzies. Casa, however, sees a world covered in root-like growths, with little of the original landscape visible underneath it. Fuzzies are rarely seen at all, at least not alive. The world is now populated by a new, violent species of creature. Sound familiar? It is unclear where this species came from. We saw no evidence of them in Gabriel's recordings, but they have eliminated a large percentage of the population in a very short time. New species appears to be plant-based, bearing a resemblance to motile trees or roots. These creatures are violent and destructive, actively hunting the Fuzzies, slaughtering them, leaving the bodies behind while they hunt more. We believe there may still be Fuzzies alive in hiding, but given the ferocity of the root species, it is unlikely they will remain so for very long. Conclusion and recommendation: I believe Fuzzies will not survive without some kind of intervention. However, I cannot recommend that a human scouting party visit Casa's world at this time. It is likely the root species will treat us the same as the Fuzzies. Given the speed and ferocity with which they fight, a lone scouting party will not stand a chance, even with modern weapons. For now, I believe it is best that we continue observations to learn what we can about this new species before engaging them. Memory successful. Alright. Let's meander on down the way. Get some mood music on. Alright. None over there. That's just more medical storage. Oh, nothing to see there. Axiom, etc., etc. Log. No signal. Subject 2409 is online. Vitals are stable, but we're receiving no visual information, and the audio consists only of a low, persistent rumble interspersed by seemingly random series of clicks. Attempts to find a pattern of the clicks have so far been fruitless. I'm convinced they're nothing more than signal noise, perhaps errors in the recording equipment amplified by the dreamer's subconscious, or perhaps there's no signal at all. We've never tested what happens when a dreamer connects with nothing. Most likely, Dr. Harsgaard read the runes wrong, awaiting confirmation. 16 reply. Harsgaard claims he's not wrong and suggests that we continue monitoring. We'll do so, if only as CYA. It looks like we're stuck here for a while. Note from Private Waters. Dr. Tasso, I heard a change in the audio last night for 20 minutes starting at 2:11. I heard some kind of singing. That's the only way I can think to describe it. It was on top of the regular rumble and clicks. I left the tape in your office for your review. I also be advised I may have seen an anomaly on video as well. A brief, very faint pulse of light during the time of the audio anomaly. It may have just been an artifact on the screen though, or even my imagination. It was very late after all. Hell, I owe Harsgard $10 for about 2 hours on April 16th, 1966. Subject 2409's visuals lit up like the goddamn 4th of July. Dozens of lights pulsed on and off with no pattern. We have yet to discern. Colors varied, but mostly remained between blue and yellow rainbows. After approximately 145 minutes, the pulsing began to decrease in frequency, and by T time 160 minutes, 15 minutes later, they had ceased entirely. Audio was unchanged during this time. Finally, we have proof this dreamer is connected to something. Harsgard is never going to let this drop. Corrupted, corrupted, corrupted. But yeah, I suppose that's this dreamer in specific is where we get that off-putting sound that gave us the Elder Knowledge trait. Let's... I think this may be Casa. Alright, give us lock. Oh, nope, Gabriel. The dreamer known as Subject 2419 is online. Data's coming in faster than we can deal with it. Gabriel's bonded entity guards a literal living world of some kind of massive biological organisms that houses the Guardian within it. Ground is flesh and represents stimuli. In response to stimuli, the air is thick with moisture. The breeze shifts cyclically like breathing. The inhabitants of the world are equally fascinating, small fur-covered bipedals that we've dubbed fuzzies for the resemblance from the creatures from H. Beam Piper's novels, which is an actual novice and is an actual series of novels. They appear to be sentient. They have no spoken language, but they build tools and structures from the bone-like growths found throughout their world. These observations are preliminary, of course, but they're so exciting. A new species, first contact. What revelations might we uncover? Yep, nada. The fuzzies have been strange. At first, they had a kind of god worshipper relationship with Gabriel's entity, but we've seen signs of fear and distrust. A few even threw rocks at their guardian. Could Gabriel's bounds have somehow caused this? We've been very careful to observe only not to interfere, but maybe the fuzzies detected some subtle change that we could not predict. Too subtle for us to notice, yet strong enough to cause a violent reaction. That seems implausible. A minority of my team is concerned this will affect our experiment. One team member is worried Gabriel himself might be in danger, though I've seen no evidence of that. Gabriel's vitals have been unaffected by the random attacks. A more valid concern is the very act of observing is affecting what we observe. That may be valid, but it's not reason enough to wake the dreamer. Not yet. Uprising. Gabriel was attacked today, or rather the Guardian was. We're combining our records We're combing our records for any sign of provocation on our part, but so far have found nothing. Gabriel's been completely passive, allowing the Guardian to act independently. Most likely, whatever's happening predates Gabriel's bond. There have been more calls from the team to wake. Gabriel's still a minority, but it's true that his heart rate rose briefly during the attacks, but there have been no other signs the attack affected him in any way. I've ordered the observations to continue. We will see this through. Nope. That's enough. Gabriel was attacked today, or are they... Oh. I guess as on termination. Subject 2419 has been declared dead on Sunday, April 3rd, 1966. Okay, so 2 years beforehand. They spent 2 years trying to get it, or the majority of. 1968, this all comes to a head. His guardian was killed, and his body consequently suffered a cardiac arrest. We lost input immediately. Needless to say, my team is devastated, and yet this presents exciting new information. This is the first time a dreamer has died in the chair. Tragic though Gabriel's death is, it provides the bond between dreamers and the Guardians even stronger than we knew. Oh, it proves. Research in the fuzzy world has been put on hold for now. Our previous observations and these log entries will be transferred to another room for study while Gabriel's chair is prepared for the next dreamer. I know we'll be back. There's so much to learn yet. What happens when a world's guardian dies anyway? Yeah, the strong weird. Yeah. In this room, please keep the air conditioner on at all times. The dreamer's entity lives in a frozen world, in some places colder than any other recorded measurement on Earth, and seems to reflect aspects of that bond. In particular, she does not show physical signs of discomfort at any temperature above 55 degrees. Oh, she shows signs of discomfort at any temperature above 55 degrees. These working, those working in this area are encouraged to wear layers. Corrupted file. Anomaly. The Guardian came across a clutch of orphan Polis. Apparently, they had been lost in a blizzard, but the effect on Clementine was unexpected. Her noradrenaline levels dropped. Her body showed signs of lacrimination. Most of the team believes the Guardian, the Dreamer, or both were saddened by this discovery, but we have no record of Guardians ever having or eliciting emotions. If only we could record emotional states somehow. It's unfortunate that we can't speak to the dreamers without waking them, and that we can't wake them without risking loss of the bond. Procedures, FYI, per Commander Neville's orders, we have sedated Clementine until her noradrenaline levels return back to normal. I guess this is now standard operating procedure. Whenever a dreamer exhibits potential unstable behavior, I suspect the source of this edict is Captain Ford. After what happened with Gabriel. So Ford was working on Gabriel. And with Harsgard about to connect the new driver to this clawbone entity, I'm guessing Ford doesn't want any more unnecessary risks. He's probably right. Janitor! Someone please tell the janitor to leave the AC alone. That's the third time we've had to reboot Clementine this month. Last frame. Something something Clementine, not disintegrated at all. Rather, I think she sifted somehow, that she still exists somewhere with everything else, including the poor Jenner. Unfortunately, as to why, I have only conjecture. Reviewing Clementine's final tapes shows. And in the very last frame, in one darkened corner, you can see something, something. This be Clementine. Harsgard always described his unknown entity in fantastic terms, but what if he wasn't exaggerating? We know he brought his dreamer online at approximately the same time Clementine disappeared, after all. As I said, conjecture, but. It'll make more sense later. Never quite put that one together. Here we are. Mark Klinger. An explosion in research knocked out the circuit breaker in the north wing. The ward is running on backup power, but repair crews have been dispatched. Patients remain stable. No major incidents. Main power stored. Oh, yeah, 67. Main power is restored, but security camera 12 is offline. I set Smith to check the cabling out. And he reported that the lines were fried. I filled a service report ticket, WO 178512, with maintenance. Let's see, August. Okay, so. Yeah, man. There we go. I'm a little edged. There's an incident with patient 2923, Clementine, last night. She was agitated, like she was having a bad dream. The doctors and nurses were scared. Something about PSK levels being way off the graph. It took 3 orderlies to pin her down. I can't say for sure, but I think I saw a microscope fly off the table and hit one of the orderlies square in the back of the head. No one threw it. The damn thing just shot off the table. The orderly is in the med lab. 27 stitches. It could have been much worse. Worse, much worse. There we go. For some reason, the mouse wasn't wanting to cooperate for a second there. Alright, August 13th, 1967. Dreamer 2923, Clementine, was at it again this evening. Started around midnight. The patient was moaning and crying in his sleep. Wasn't long before the crying turned to screaming, and the medical crew rushed into the room. The orderlies could barely keep her down. Never seen anything like it. How does a 60-year-old child have enough strength to take on free-grown men? Doctors were yelling at the nurses to sedate her, but the tranquilizer didn't take effect soon enough. They finally managed to strap on the restraints, but the patient pressed around so much she broke her right forearm. Broke her damn arm against the straps. Oof. So we know there was significant weird being left out of reports with Clem. It's yeah. No stray lore bits there for us. Man, it feels so weird running mouse and keyboard after starting up with with controller. Oh yeah, anyway. That's the lore I promised. We'll just responsibly use editing RAS powers, if at all here. Yeah. Get a little bit more of a feel.
Hello again, friend. What would you like to know? Oh, hey, not much to tell about
Reggie.
old Reggie. My story
Horseshit. You came
like so
looking
many
for
out
Belinda.
there. Loss, hunger, fear, and by providence, I found my way here. The last bastion of kindness and light. Searching my
You're
heart
half in
before this place
beforehand.
is like reaching through an endless fog. I do remember a ring I wore once. My greatest treasure. The last remnant of an old tale. But it's lost now. Oh, I don't like to gossip, but you twist my arm. The cave's rough around the edges. I reckon she don't mind the company here. Riggs, he'd give you the shirt off his back if you asked. Bo, don't have much experience, but he's keen to do right by the ward. Ace is friendly enough. Oh, she keeps her cards close to her chest. Wallace, poor boy. He's just settling in. Damn shame.
Oh.
We'll do our best,
No
Brian.
experts are that upset.
That talent? Damn fine leader. Granddaughter of the founder for it. She's seen us through some hard times. She might not admit it, but she's done some fine work with the hand she was dealt.
You know, until you've had set your own shadow boxing, you really, really don't appreciate it. Until you see somebody else do it.
What can't I tell you? Well, a lot, actually. The place is as old as teeth. The ward's been here since the world fell. Took on by Commander Andrew Ford. May he dream in peace. Story goes the other wards were overrun. But not this one. Oh, no, not this one. Anything else
This
you
is
need?
where it started. Oh, and if you're curious about what he sells, off screen I did pick up a trinket. He sells the Admiral's Ring, which boosts your critical hit, but oh dear lord, it comes at the cost of you are the glass cannon. Yeah, but anything you can find in the field, especially anything bits. The ammo boxes are the big one. Instant resupply of ammo, very handy for some stingier boss fights. Definitely a must for the final boss. Adrenaline lets you increase movement. Ammo box refills your ammo. Stops bleeding with bandage. Bloodwort. Regenerates health for about 30 seconds. Very, very handy when you're exploring. Frenzy Dust. Boosts fire rate and reload speed for all heroes that step in the dust cloud. Lasts 30 seconds. Very handy, but I never used it because I just assumed it was alien coke. Hydro coolant extinguishes burning and increases fire resistance. Very, very handy for one specific boss, who you'll see later. I'm sure. I'm bound to do some adventuring and some scraping of edges. Oil skin tonic removes infected, and this is going to be the common because those early roots, a few of them like to inflict rot. Resistance by her removes and increases rot resistance by 30%. Last 10 minutes.
Safest
What
of
really
travels.
determines your resistances in this game? Oh, and of course, Ace. Quick kick up. One of the
Hey,
conversations I
Traveler.
inflicted. Well, I triggered was Lass apparently Ace loaned her lucky coin to, and Lass hasn't been back since. But Ace buys and sells everything theoretically. Basically, what you sell Ace pops back up the inventory. I don't remember if that goes for co-op partners. I think it was a trading bypass for a minute. Um, but there are some things you just can't sell. But mostly, Ace sells you materials if you're not having any luck out there.
Later.
Um, all right, this dude, this dude got added later. Scribbles. I'm Whispers. New here. Got no speech. I'm good with Freds. Make your armor nice. Bring me glowing fragments. This is how they convince you to play the survival mode. Stabbed in neck, still alive. Few weeks. Left the gang. Came here. Lady upstairs finally let me in. I'm getting old. Ain't no getting old out there. But yeah, Whispers sells you some bits and bobs. Some trinkets. If you're willing to do the work. Dance the dance. All require a bit of scrap and a bit of glowing fragment. But basically, it's trinkets and skins. Trinkets are basically this game's accessories. Remember right? They come in necklace and ring. Oh yeah, necklace, 2 ring slots. Which, remember right? Ring of the Admiral. The inscription reads literally impossible. Damage received is 300%. All damage dealt is increased by 15. This piece of junk looks like it's worth no more than $2 at the local drugstore. Nothing, nothing like a little bit of spike to go with the apocalypse. Oh, sounds like my audio cut out again. Woof. Okay, well, I'ma hit this crystal. I'ma save, and in this chunk of the recording, and give it the old college reset try. And after a little bit of fiddling, we're back. Uh oh. Okay, I developed a little road bump in the form of controller input lag. But I seem to have gotten it straightened out. It wasn't audio issues. It was audio connection issues. The connection to the good headphones had come a wee bit loose. Uh oh. Okay. There we go. Trying to And we're gonna drop right back into Ford's office there and get back to exploring a little bit. Now, some enemies drop materials, and there are some more specialized materials almost exclusively dropped by enemies, like glowing fragments and such. Remember, right? Glowing shards? I don't know, but you might have noticed that archer, the jumpy teleporting one. Well, those guys come in a few more flavors. Can shoot through chain link fencing. One of the things I appreciate about this game. But yeah. That's among my favorite aspects of the game is the ability to shoot through chain link fences to gap shot things. I'm a big fan of the unexpected angle, you know?
Stay down.
Not much range on these pistols. Oh, there we go. Luminite crystals are what the specials drop. Okay. Slightly off. Can't tell if I let that shut too much or too little. Probably too little.
Down.
2-for-1 sale. Oh, I don't have to take out every last single one. Oh. Hey there. That little horse thing tells you that a special just spotted you. Uh-oh. I got lagging inputs. Oof. Uh-oh. Life I get real interesting here. Oof. Okay, looks like I got some more work to do tuning this controller. And now we got sticky joystick. Well, they ain't sticking, but the input are. Okay. There's him. Might be getting the old double input problem with DS4. Okay. Well, thought I had this problem licked. Truly did. Alright. Well, it just goes to show. Just when you think you're done fixing a problem, sometimes it just means you move a bit forward, have a new problem to contend with just a bit down the line. can still equate myself just fine with keyboard and mouse, thank you. I'd rather not, like... anything about his keyboard and mouse, just... because the precision on mouse and keyboard is a bit higher. Oh, and there's our first bleeding status. There we go. First big bruiser dropped.
Ooh, that was rough.
Yeah, that was. But yeah, as you can see, bleeding doesn't inflict a lot of damage. It's more, it inflicts enough damage. You got an extra degree of risk for every engagement from that point forward. Oh, excellent. We're going to need that secondary ammo. Oh. Well, I am not burning bandages on an early run, man. Yeah, I'll burn Dragonheart. I'll run that bleed meter out. Yeah, you can equate yourself with the pistol pretty well. It's not my favorite sidearm. The SMG is my favorite sidearm. This early, this low on scrap, you gotta use whatever tool comes to you. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything on my last one. Oh, also, could have sworn there were hanging cabinets. Yeah, there are hanging cabinets you can break. But one of my favorite goofy bits. If you're out of a window on the second store, you will just die hard yourself on through. One of my favorite things is to find an intact window and just alley-oop out. But yeah, as you can see, bleeding lasts a good long while and inflicts a fair bit of damage over that time. It's not a fast death, but it's a creeping one. Alright, well, before I peace out, try to get this controller together. Let's see if I can't make a little bit of forward progress. I'm wasting shots.
Stay down!
For reach early game, you really can't beat the hunting rifle. If you find that the coach and shotguns disagree with you, try it out. Scrap. Oh, bit of iron. Awesome, great, grand. We're gonna need that. Anybody else hanging out here? I hear you, I don't see you though. Oh, there we go. Dumb luck I spotted you when I did. Some more scrap. Nice big section to explore. at least want to find either a checkpoint or...
Ooh, that was rough.
Yeah, it was me. There are, on rare occasions, some hidden passages behind shelves. So it pays to break breakables for more than just scrap. Oh, there's a third level, okay. Oh, it's a book.
How's that?
Okay, hang on, I'll burn a bandage.
Who's next?
It's paying too much attention to my aiming. That's my problem for using mouse and keyboard. I get a little too preoccupied on aim instead of do. Let's see what we got hanging out in these buildings. There's somebody fecking about. That horse thing when you spot it kind of adds to the tension. Is it the greatest thing since sliced bread? No, but you know, I do appreciate the detail of, hey, you're in danger. I'm usually conservative with ammo. Not always conservative with ammo. I think it was right about Alan Wake when I had to let go of my old Silent Hill fan ways. Because in Alan Wake, they actually expect you to use what they hand out. Yeah, third level access from another side of the building. Okay. Damn near nothing here. No immediate jump out loot stash. Squared off from the rest of the building. Collapse. Well, we got 19 scrap out of the deal. Well, sometimes you find the chest. Oh, hey. The scrap I missed. Okay. Sometimes you find the bonus chest. Sometimes you miss it. Just the way it goes in this game. But now that I'm not being stalked, we got a rich vein of scrap to zip off with. Oh, there we go. Well, at least we came up with another. Jeez, man, that's what, 34 for this section? This world's being pretty kind to me. I mean, we've already found the Drifter's helmet, which I don't think I've come across that before. Yep. About 16 minutes into this. I think that's the way we came. Yeah, that is the way we came. Alright. Cleared one building more than planned, but hey, these things happen. Oh, that's my reflection. I wonder. Take that, reflection. How dare you reflect my own image back at me and startle myself. Huh? Oh, we're pulling a fair bit of scrap. What are we doing on material, though? See, free luminites. You know, not bad. Eventually, I think enemies just start dropping the materials proper. They're just something of a rare drop at the moment as you start out. Oh, there we go. Alright, what entry we got here? Hardened iron, incredibly strong and surprisingly light. Oh yeah, did I mention there's a fair bit of sewer crawling in this? Ah, there we go, checkpoint. Alright. Yep, there's... Yeah, this section... Oh. Don't take it. It sees. It's not every day that free XP just wanders up to you. Hidden Sanctum. Which means we're up against the easier of the two bosses.
Who's next?
Uh-oh. And these are the bastards that inflict rot on me more often than anybody else. Those exploders were the bane of my early run existence. I drew the other boss. Let me tell you, I was not a happy camper. No, like the other pain in the neck is occasionally you'll pull a hunter. Not the archers. Oh no. Hunters. I'll call it out for you if we encounter one. If we're lucky, we won't. This hunters. The first time you bump into one, you never forget it. Like when you're at low skill ceiling in this game, they are the bane of your existence in the early portions of the run, and it feels super unfair. They're beatable. They're pretty easy to pop off if you have a co-op partner. But you gotta apply some grease. You gotta apply some cheese. You gotta know it's coming. After that, it's not so bad. Well, let's put some of this loot to good use. This episode has been a tad bit more patchwork than I was hoping it'd be, but well, you know, when you're trying to knock out some more episodes, you got to make some adjustments, take a minute, let your voice rest, have a tea, have a stretch, you know, do that self-care stuff. Let's see if the controller decided to do it. Okay, so far.
Oh, traveler. Let's see what I've got.
Alright. Submachine gun up the bar. Well, counterintuitive though it may be. Alright. Alright. Yeah, there we go. Because lower tabs of the bumpers. Oh, there's that input leg again. Oh, the. Okay, I got some fine tuning to do on that yet. Alright, so we upgrade that. It's onesies. Those onesies. So, upgrade the trench. Which, incidentally, those shopper-eyed among you may have spotted that Ace wears a hunter outfit. Yeah, they didn't do a whole lot of design for that, but you can do worse.
So long.
Nah, like, let's see. Spot. Undermarks isn't great. Well, we can afford to pick up
traveler. Let's see what I've got.
a mod or a weapon and a mod. Okay, we can afford to pick up a melee weapon and a mod.
So long.
I will pass on the variety pack of
Keep moving.
melee weapons for right now.
What?
I like to exchange monies.
Yeah? Better be worth my time.
Ah, yes, there we are. Hotshot and Mender's Aurora. I will take Mender's Aurora and turn some of that mod energy.
I've got work to do.
Oh, yeah, auto-equipped me. Okay, that's fine. But basically, gives us a little extra cushion on health. I'm personally a big fan of the grenade mod, but to be completely honest, I haven't. Oh, I burned a blood wart. Oh, no, that's fine. Scrap's an infinite resource, so is blood wart. Alright, and we'll call that segment here for the time being. While I sit down and decide whether or not it's worth it to fiddle with this controller right now. Alright. So, Editor Rasp, get on that transition, eh? Hey, Editing Rasp here. So, Game Goon ran a little bit long again, so, I'm here with the after action report. So we did take a fair bit of time and finally get that controller situation straightened out for the most part, I hope. Long story short, We were connecting via Bluetooth, but it wasn't reading via wired. And the culprit appears to be an iffy USB port. You'll have that from time to time. It might be misaligned, maybe it's faulty. I just swapped ports and voila, it started working properly again. So we are not going to need to fiddle with that again in the near future, glob willing. The most we might do is perhaps add an extension. Any rate, we did run way long in the lore reading section, so we are just over an hour here. So, with that and the after action report done, we're just going to take on the ending here. So, have yourself a good stretch by the trash fire. Finish your snacks. Remember to hydrate. Until next time, take care of yourself. You have a pleasant remainder of your evening. Thank you for watching. I've been your humble host, Rasp, a trash bear. And until next time, good night.